Did you know that lacking in this vitamin can make your skin worse? It can damage your skin. What's dangerous about it is that it's linked with scary autoimmune disease when there's not enough of it. I want to talk about why it's important to have vitamin D, why is it dangerous when there's too little, and where you can get the source from. So that way you can make better choices to help get better skin and also to prevent the harmful diseases that you don't want to get. And I have a vitamin D deficiency before and I learned how to fix it. And that's why I'm sharing with you so you don't encounter this problem as well too, because it's such a pain in the butt and you feel so lousy when it's low. Do you notice that during winter months, people often complain that their skin is worse, especially if you have eczema? It's because it's due to the cold, low humidity, the dryness, and also from the lack of exposure to the sun. Especially if you live in Canada, the higher the latitude, the angle of the sun hits the that country differently compared to where if you live closer to the equator. So even in the fall or winter months, when you go outside thinking that you're getting enough of vitamin D, you might not even be getting enough because of you're bundling up from head to toe, you have sunblock on, you have layers of different creams and makeup on as well. Those are some of the reasons why Canadian women are low in vitamin D, aside from other factors. What is important about vitamin D and why is it dangerous to have too little? Vitamin D, think of it as a referee to a game where they keep the player in line so that they don't do all the stupid dumb things. And when it comes to vitamin D, the vitamin D receptors are literally in almost everywhere in your body. So it's located in bones, immune system, your thyroid, your heart, your pancreas, muscle, your skin cells. It's literally everywhere. Your brain as well too. Vitamin D controls the mast cell from producing histamine, and it literally pretty much dampens the histamine effects. So histamine is part of, like, let's say you have an allergic reaction, your body releases the histamine and you get itchiness, swelling, rash, hives, and your runny nose, all the uncomfortable feelings. Whereas if you have enough of vitamin D, it dampens the effects. And so if you have eczema, that means that less itching, less redness, less irritation, less swelling. That helps with the skin. Vitamin D has protective barrier against melanoma, which is a skin cancer. It helps reduces the mutations of melanocytes. It's pretty much a skin cell, and it helps with repairing the DNA damages. Also, it helps with the productions of the melanin, which is like a skin pigment. So if you don't have enough of vitamin D, there's increased risk of cancer, skin cancer. There's also increased risk of this condition called vitiligo, where you know how there's like a brown cow or like a white cow, and then they have brown spots, or the other way around. It looks really cute on a cow, but it does not look as cute as on human beings. Vitamin D also helps with regulating the immune system. It helps with controlling the overactive T helper 1 cells. It also helps control with overactive T helper 17 cells and also pretty much maintaining the T regulatory cell so that there's altogether it helps with reducing inflammations from DNA being from mutations, maintaining a proper immune system. So if you have a good immune system, you're less likely to have poor immune function where it causes poor wound healing and poor inflammation responses lead to increased flare up. So these things can cause eczema to be worse and more painful during the winter month when it's already dry and cracker skin and irritating. Also, vitamin D is a common trigger to autoimmune diseases. When there's a deficiency in vitamin D, there is a link between autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, diabetes type 1, and also the vitiligo, the skin conditions as well too. I went to Walmart sometime this year to get some vitamins for myself, some supplements for myself, and I saw this man who was looking for vitamin D for himself. And at that time, there was a Jameson sales rep there to find out what items need to be restocked. That's when I found out about this doctor, this neurologist, Dr. Dahlia Rothstein in Toronto, who prescribed 50,000 international units for her patients who have multiple sclerosis as one of the treatments. Here we are thinking that taking 400 international units or even 1,000 international units as too much, even when we're already at a deficiency of it. Anyways, get your blood work checked out and figure out what you need to take. Vitamin D is important in terms of helping you control your blood pressure. This is where, if you have enough vitamin D, that helps with controlling the renin production. So renin is part of the RAS cascade. So the renin angiotensin and aldosterone system. What happens is that these hormones, these chemicals are being released to help tighten, squeeze the blood vessel. It helps hold in salt and also water. Pretty much the goal of it is to help bring the blood pressure up. So when you don't have enough vitamin D, this regulation of the renin get all messed up, and that put you more at risk of having higher blood pressure. Vitamin D helps with the absorptions of calcium. So this is where it helps with people who have conditions like osteoporosis. Vitamin D helps with insulin sensitivity. It also helps with glucose regulations. If you have trouble with weight loss, that is one of the issues that you want to fix as well too. If you have a harder time with losing weight because of the insulin resistance, vitamin D can help with having increase of insulin sensitivity. Vitamin D plays a part in controlling the serotonin and also the dopamine production. Serotonin is the happy, feel good hormone, whereas dopamine is the reward motivation hormone. So when these hormones are low, people tend to feel more anxious, sad, depressed, low motivation. There's this thing called seasonal affective disorder. It's pretty much the winter blues that you have. So during the winter time, when you feel like you don't have any motivation, you're feeling lazy, it might be that your vitamin D is on the low side. So get it checked out and supplement or have food that has vitamin D in it. Vitamin D deficiency can give you vertigo. There's a condition called benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. And one of the common complaints that I see people coming into the emergency is that they complain of dizziness, and vertigo is one of them, where they feel like there's spinning sensation, they're walking on a wobbly water boat, and it's worse with movement. When you have deficiency in vitamin D, it can trigger this issue. This is pretty dangerous when you're driving, especially if you have vertigo. Now you know the danger of not enough of vitamin D. What is the problem of having too much vitamin D? In terms of toxicity wise, there's so many issues that affect the absorptions of vitamin D. Toxicity is kind of a rare thing when it comes to vitamin D. It's because of depends on the time of the year, your skin tone, your where you live, the absorption, your gut health, the ability of your gut to be able to absorb it, your diet, stress, how your liver is functioning. There are so many different factors that affect the absorption of vitamin D that the barrier of entry of vitamin D to enter the system, it's high. The common concern when it comes to having too much vitamin D is the deposit of calcium or the increase of calcium buildup. And to help with it is to take vitamin K2, and it's vitamin K2's function is to help put the calcium in places where it's supposed to be. So such as going to the bones instead of staying in the arteries or getting clogged there. Another thing to help with is magnesium, because vitamin D doesn't work as well when there's lack of magnesium, because magnesium is part of at least 300 different bodily processes. So it's quite a big nutrient that is needed. And when you're stressed out, the magnesium gets depleted and also your vitamin D gets depleted faster. So for vitamin K2, where would you get it? You can get it in natto, beef, egg, chicken. So some of the things that you can get it from, and also supplement as well too. When it comes to magnesium, this is where when your mom said, "Hey, eat your vegetable, kid," that is where it's important because magnesium is often part of this chlorophyll and it's found in plants. So that means increase your leafy green vegetable, nuts and seeds. That's where you can get your source of magnesium from. And that's why it's important to have those green leafy vegetables to help with the functioning of the vitamin D. You can get your vitamin D from fatty fish such as like salmon, sardine, mackerel, cod liver oil. And you can get it from mushroom, oyster. So these are just some of the food that you can get it from. And sometimes what happens is when you're not getting enough from the food, you can supplement. So I used to take this one here. And oh, don't take D2, take D3 instead. It's better for the absorptions. And so this didn't really help me boost my vitamin D level up, and I switched to this one here. So the reason why this is better is because it has organic virgin coconut oil, and when it comes to vitamin D, it's a fat soluble vitamin. So it needs to have healthy fat in order for it to absorb properly. And did you know that if you're using excessive soap to wash your hair or wash your skin, that can strip away the natural oil in your skin, and that makes it harder for in terms of promoting vitamin D absorption because vitamin D absorption needs proper cholesterol, proper skin oil in order for it to absorb through the skin. So that is what I have for you, and I hope these content that I provide is useful. If you find that it helps, please click a like, subscribe, and share with a friend, and come back next time.